Welcome back to Open Topics, Episode 5. This one we'll talk about scenes that were never written for no explained reason. Excuse me, but mostly put these are scenes that should have been in the pages of Marvel Comics at some point in time, but as far as I know, they never made them for no reason. First one, and this is basically going to be about the thumbnail in the video. It's about Reed Richards and Namor, mainly put the Maker, aka Ultimate Reed Richards, interacting with Namor. Yeah, for some reason this never happened at all. I would have thought this would have been interesting. I'm sure some readers who basically have known the history of Namor and Reed Richards in the 616 universe over the course of nearly 50 years of these characters, a little 50 years these characters have been around, and there is no interaction between these two during Time Runs Out story. Don't know why Jonathan Hickman decided not to do this at all. Yeah, I would have thought it would have been interesting for these two to have a conversation. Yeah, this is probably the biggest thing people probably would love to have seen. Like, what would Namor's reaction to seeing someone he's known for years acting the way he is doing in this universe? As far as I know, the only characters Maker interact with was Thanos, Maximus the Mad, and Black Swan. And that's it. He didn't interact with anybody else, is never shown to interact with anybody else from the Cabal. And I would have thought, though, maybe Hickman would at least squeeze in maybe 2 pages of Namor interacting with the Ultimate Reed Richards. But nope, God forbid Jonathan Hickman do that for some stupid reason. But they did have it in Secret Wars, where the Ultimate Reed Richards interacted with his 616 counterpart, something that should have happened in the Ultimate Fantastic Four series. Instead, we had the birth of the Marvel Zombies line. Yeah, I'm glad Hickman did that, but I kind of wish that he would have had it with Maker interacting with Namor. That's one thing. Another one was a couple things from Grim Hunt. There was, as far as I know, no scene after Grim Hunt, because I've read a lot of Marvel comics over the years. Now, during the course of Grim Hunt, there were 2 people who officially got killed off during the course of the story prior to its end, when Kraven killed 2 people at the end. Now, the first person died in the story was Maddie Franklin, aka the Third Spider-Woman. Now, after the crossover wrapped up, did Spider-Man go to Jameson and tell, "Hey, Jameson, I'm sorry I have to tell you this though, but your niece has been murdered by Sasha Kravinoff"? Did he at any point go to Jameson and tell him that his niece is dead? Nope. Because, as far as I know, this scene never happened, and yet somehow he knew that his niece was dead because she popped up in Clone Conspiracy. I mean, the readers knew that she was dead, Spider-Man knew she was dead, but yet Jameson was never informed about her death at all. And there was a couple of problems I had with Grim Hunt that still bother me to this very day. One, of course, is the absence of Jessica Drew. As far as I know, there is no explained reason why this character was absent in the story. Yeah, as far as I know, I mean, there's no off-panel reason why, there's no reference to her, there's reference to Venom. But if this was taking place before the events of Siege, Venom at that point would have been Matt Gorgon. If this was taking place after the events of Siege, it would probably be nobody. So it could have been Matt Gorgon, but he never shows up in the crossover. As a matter of fact, I think even Carnage is a reference at some point during Grim Hunt, and yet they're never brought up. Then they actually no-showed the story. My only theory, the reason why Jessica Drew didn't show up in the crossover because she's busy with New Avengers, but here's kind of the thing. After this crossover, almost any time there's a Spider-Man related event, Jessica Drew pops up in there some way, shape, or form. As a matter of fact, this is one of 2 major Spider-Man stories where Jessica Drew no-showed it at all. The only other story I can think of, as of recently she did this for, was Clone Conspiracy. As far as I know, she no-showed the story. There is no explained reason why. As a matter of fact, she even Spider-Man 2099 both no-showed the story. And yet they had Silk and Prowler show up in there, but not Spider-Woman. Yeah, I don't get why in the world where apparently Marvel gets away with where two major Spider-Man related events and Jessica Drew was nowhere to be in the story. She was in Spider-Verse, Spider Island, almost any kind of major related story in the page of Spider-Man. She does occasionally pop up. In the case of Grim Hunt, she should have shown up in that story because Kane mentioned that the Craven officer going off the spiders. That would have included the original Spider-Woman Jessica Drew. But as far as I know, she was never mentioned and no show of the story. Yeah, and also at the end of the story, the original Madam Web was murdered. She died along with Sasha Kravinoff, and of course the resurrected Grim Hunter died. As far as I know, also Charlotte Webb, aka Cassandra Webb's granddaughter, she's still in a coma. And as far as I know, she's never woken up from it, and she's never been informed that her grandmother is dead. Nope, never been informed of that at all. Yeah, and do you know how long she's been in a coma? She's been in a coma now for almost 20 years. And yet she's never woken up from it at all. And yet they had Stunner wake up from a coma after a long period of time, but yet not Spider-Woman? Yeah, really weird. Excuse me, let me think. What else here? Excuse me. Let's see. As far as I know, Spider-Man's interactive pretty much like every single character in the Marvel Universe. Yeah, he's interactive with everybody. But I can't think of anybody he's never interacted with at all. Oh yeah, and also this is something I really gotta bring up here. The lack of involvement of the younger X-Men characters. Yeah. But that could be for another time. I'm trying to think there was any other scenes that were missing. Let's see, from Marvel. Aside from the couple I mentioned, or at least a few things I mentioned. No, not really. DC, as far as I can tell. Oh yes, this is something that really kind of bothered me when it came to Batman-related crossovers. The absence of Batwoman. As far as I know, she's in Gotham City, and yet her book doesn't have a tie-in at all. Yeah, this is something that really kind of bothered me when it came to the Batwoman title under the original writers. You had Night of Owls, you had a bunch of talents going crazy over the city. But is this brought up page to Batwoman? Nope. And then we had Death of the Family, where we had the Joker basically come back, and Batwoman no-showed that story as well. She did show up for Zero. Then came Endgame. No-showed that one as well. It seems like the first crossover she actually did in the past, 8 years, she actually did show up for, was Night in the Monster Men. Yeah, that's by far the only one she ever did that for. But as for a lot of the other Batman-related events, she no-showed it at all. She also no-showed Batman Eternal. Yeah, there's no reason why she no-showed that one, despite the fact she's in Gotham City, and yet she no-showed it at all. Same thing with Batman Eternal. She's nowhere in these major Batman stories at all. I mean, she's in Gotham City, and yes, she shows at least Mother Panic kind of has a reason why. She basically tries to stay contained to her own sector of the city, so she's not affected by the major things. I mean, I don't think she even knew about what happened with. She may have known about the whole stuff with the Monster Man stuff, but at least she kind of has a reason why. At least Jodie Foster tries to make sure that whatever happens in the book stays in the book. But if in fact and of course she has met Batman officially, met a couple times, but excuse me, yeah. Now, either was plans to include her in crossovers like Night of Owls, or the Family, or Endgame. But either one or two things happened. Either DC editorial told Scott Snyder not to have her involved in these events, or the editor of the Batwoman book told Scott Snyder, who was basically he was the head writer of the Bat books from 2011 to 2016. He probably told either DC higher-ups told him not to involve Batwoman in these stories, or the Batwoman editor did that. Yeah, as far as I can tell, there's no explained reason for that. Let me think, what else? As far as I can tell, that's it. I can't think of any other time anything was really missing from DC. Well, as of recently, anyways, the stuff I've read. Well, the Superman crossover release bothers to have include all the Superman characters. Yeah, at least they bother to include every single one, and they actually do get involved with the events. In the case, oh yeah, and there's one other character I completely forgot to mention here. Talon. Since the end of his comic book, he has made 2 appearances since the end of his comic book. He popped up for the final issue of Batman Eternal for like 2 pages, and he popped up for the pencil issue of Batman Arm Eternal for like 1 panel. And that was it. As far as I can tell, like, because he showed up right after Night of Owls. I mean, I get maybe not having involved with Death of him, at least that is a good reason why, because he's never met the Joker. But in the case of some of the other stuff, he should at least been involved. And the only long it's been since his last physical appearance, it's been 2 years. And he has not showed up at all in Detective Comics. I kind of wish he should, because he's a good character. But, as for scenes not written, let me think here. Oh yeah, and here's one basically that kind of, well, TNF kind of rode us the corner about this one. Now they had it revealed in the first issue of his run that Bruce Wayne revealed to his cousin Katie Kane, that he's Batman, and she figured out a long time ago because they're cousins. Okay, one, when the heck did she find out about this? Yeah, as far as I know, there is never an explanation for this at all. And I'm trying to think, though, was there anything else was missing? No, that's really it. I can't think of anything else related to DC. Not gonna talk much about Image because, well, I had not read Image or some of the independent comics very long. Though, of course, everyone knows my stance. But my next video I'm going to do on this series is the lack of involvement of the younger X-Men related characters, with the exception of X-23. Well, Laura, anyways. I'll talk about that in episode 6. But next few videos, I'm going to do reviews of Hunter x Hunter and Tokyo Ghoul Read, no shadows for that, and a comic corner. But this video I kind of want to get out there, okay? So, excuse me. That's it for this episode. Stay tuned for whenever I get a chance to do episode 6, where I'll talk about the lack of involvement of the younger X-Men characters. I will talk about that then. But until we see you in the next video, bye.